actually good at politics. In fact, you could argue there's no bigger loser in American politics than Donald Trump. I mean, just look at his record. Loss after loss after loss. Even the one win in 2016 when he won the presidency, remember, he lost the popular vote by nearly 2.9 million votes. It's like 2 percentage points. Back in 2018, first midterm elections, his party lost control of the House. Democrats gained a net of 40 seats that year. Of course, in 2020, he lost both the Electoral College, 306 to 232, and the popular vote, with 7 million more Americans choosing Joe Biden over Donald Trump. Then just last week, the de facto head of the Republican Party once again, for the third election in a row, presided over a wildly disappointing loss, this one a midterm. Democrats will retain control of the Senate, and Republicans will take the House by a tiny, tiny sliver of margin. So whatever political pull Donald Trump may have once had, it does seem clear it's just no longer working. Of course, that's not stopping the ex-president from launching yet another bid for the White House from his exile at Mar-a-Lago last night. It was largely the same old nonsense, the same shtick, not a lot of new material. Rigged election, fake news, making America great again. But the hour-long speech was a brutal slog. I mean, really low energy. So much so that even Fox News at one point got bored and cut away for more than 10 minutes.
It's very, very much hurting our country. Germany tried it, Germany tried it. They were up for about a year. Remember I sent to Angela. Remember Angela? Do you remember Angela? Nobody's remembering her now. Angela Merkel.
Just joining us, President Trump in Mar-a-Lago announcing his 2024 presidential run. We're going to go back to the speech in just a minute. Let's get some quick snap reaction first from Pete Hegseth, who's been watching along with us. Pete, he went through every issue of success, every issue of failure as it relates to the Biden administration.
Sean, you're killing me. The Angela Merkel crowd work was amazing. Why would you cut away from that? And we would play some of the highlights from the president's next speech, but there's honestly nothing to highlight. Like, you've seen this a million times. The most interesting part of the entire announcement was who did and did not attend. Trump's eldest daughter, Ivanka, a top advisor in his administration, along with her husband, was the most notable absence. In a statement that she gave basically during the speech, I think, she said she's quitting the game altogether. Quote, "I love my father very much. This time around, I am choosing to prioritize my young children, the private life we are creating as a family. I do not plan to be involved in politics." Donald Trump Jr., probably his father's biggest cheerleader, also missed the big announcement. Source tells the Daily Beast he was busy on a hunting trip in the Mountain West and couldn't get a flight out to make it back for the speech because of bad weather. Tough break. In fact, 16-year-old Barron and Eric Trump were the only two of Trump's 5 children in attendance. And the ex-president actually highlighted that during his speech. Trump did manage to gather a small crowd of fans in the ballroom at Mar-a-Lago, but as ABC's Jonathan Carr reported, even they couldn't make it through the whole thing.
I actually saw people trying to leave, and people leaving early even before he was done. He's still speaking now. And then they, I think, perhaps a little concerned that the hall would empty out too much. They actually started preventing people from leaving.
It's not just the people in the ballroom that were running for the exits. The fawning right-wing media is doing the same, turning on Trump as well. You've seen it. This morning, the Rupert Murdoch-owned New York Post relegated the news of the announcement to a banner at the bottom of the front page, cheekily, quote, "Florida man makes announcement." Buried on page 26 was the brief article headlined, "Been there, done that." It reads in part, quote, "If elected, Trump would tie Joe Biden as the oldest president to take office. His cholesterol levels are unknown, but his favorite food is charred steak with ketchup." Catty.